A tiny Japanese symbol can signal that someone has an invisible disability, even when nothing looks unusual. It is called the help mark and it belongs to Japan's accessibility symbols. The mark is meant for people whose disability is not obvious from the outside. The symbol works by giving a public signal without needing an explanation. Someone can show it to indicate they may need consideration or assistance. That makes hidden needs easier to recognize in shared spaces. It can reduce the guesswork for people nearby and for staff. A small badge can change a stranger's first response from uncertainty to awareness. In public, that difference can matter before a single word is spoken. Son Arianta ran 7.5 kilometers just to register for an election, then later ran 8 kilometers back home after losing re-election. Both trips were on foot, tied to the same election process. Registration came first and the result came later. He covered the first 7.5 kilometers to reach registration instead of staying home. That physical effort made the act of voting start with a run. After the re-election loss, he still ran the 8 kilometers back. The return trip was slightly longer and it turned the loss into a visible journey. That is why the story stayed memorable. The same election was bookended by 2 long runs, one to take part and one to go home after the result. A great-nephew of Queen Elizabeth II completed 200 hours of yoga instructor training in India. That man is Samuel Chatto, a member of the extended British royal family and the elder child of Lady Sarah Chatto and Daniel Chatto. Through his mother, he is a grandson of Princess Margaret. The training was not casual exercise. It was 200 hours of instruction in India, the kind of course used to prepare a yoga teacher through repeated practice and guidance. He also works as a British ceramic artist, so his public path already sits far from palace tradition. The contrast is between inherited rank and a skill learned through long physical discipline. As of July 2026, he is 30th in line to the British throne. Even so, the clearest image is still a royal relative in a yoga course, building a very different public skill set. At the University of Edinburgh, one chaplain appointed more than 40 honorary chaplains. They came from traditions as different as Taoism, humanism, paganism, and mindfulness. That chaplain was Harriet Harris, who led the university's multifaith chaplaincy service from 2010 to 2025. Her job was to support students and staff across religious and non-religious needs. Instead of relying on one voice, she built a network of honorary chaplains. Each added a different tradition so the service could speak to many kinds of belief and practice. That widened chaplaincy from a single office into a multi-faith service. People could find support without needing to fit one religious label. The result was a chaplaincy built for real difference. A student, a staff member, or a seeker could all meet someone who understood their path. Denise Stocklow's made drama stronger by using less acting, not more. Her essential theater turns restraint into force. Stocklow's is a Brazilian playwright and actress. She has written more than a dozen plays and most are minimalist. Her method, called essential theater, strips back acting techniques. Instead of layering on effects, it narrows attention to the core stage action. That reduction is meant to maximize dramatic power. With fewer methods to watch, every gesture, pause, and voice change carries more weight. The result is theater where minimalism is not empty space. It becomes the engine of the scene and the audience meets the play at full intensity. Lourdes Ambrose sang Belle in Spanish and later helped lead Mexico's national opera. She was a Mexican operatic soprano with a 4-decade career. Her repertoire ranged from Mozart to contemporary works, and she also sang on stages in Europe and the Americas. Her career was not only performance. At Opera de Bellas Artes de Mexico, she also worked in management, including deputy artistic director from 2015 to 2017. That experience led her into the company's top artistic leadership. She became artistic director of Mexico's National Opera, moving from singer to decision-maker. Her path connected two worlds that rarely meet so closely, a Disney song and a national opera institution. One voice carried her into the spotlight. Later, that same experience helped guide the company. Neil Cunningham was both a racing driver and a stunt double in Quantum of Solace. He was New Zealand-born and raced mainly in British and European endurance events. Endurance racing means long races where drivers must stay fast, calm, and precise for hours. That skill translated directly to stunt work because film driving needs repeatable control, exact braking, and the same line every take. Cunningham also raced in the British GT Championship and at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. In Quantum of Solace, that background let him work as a stunt driver and stunt double. The film needed someone who could handle speed safely while matching the camera's demands. His career crossed from endurance racing into film production without changing the core talent, controlled speed. It is the same precision, first on the track, then in a Bond car chase. The architect of 745 Fifth Avenue once dressed up as the building itself. 745 Fifth Avenue is a mixed-use skyscraper in Midtown Manhattan, designed by Albert Buchman and Élie Jacques Kahn. It opened in 1930 and rises 435 feet with 32 stories. The costume idea makes sense because the building was meant to be seen as a complete object. Below are 50,000 square feet of retail space, and above are up to 410,000 square feet of offices. Inside, the lobby is a two-story space with a ceiling mural painted by Arthur Covey. That kind of interior turns the tower into more than an office block. So the joke became a perfect fit. The architect of 745 Fifth Avenue became his own design. A skyscraper turned into a costume, and a costume turned back into a building.